For me, the discernment journey to become a C12 chair was actually pretty quick. I was offboarding from my former career, and it was for a major not-for-profit, an international ministry, and there was an opportunity to train as a C12 chair. So really 5 things that happened. I prayed about it to discern God's will. I spoke to my wife and some trusted friends to see what their impression was and their validation. I studied scripture, and I looked at what the circumstances were. One of the other things, I actually believe that you cannot steer a parked car. So in the Christian context, I could sit all day on my sofa at home and pray about it, but I knew I had to put myself in motion. So it was a little bit like Gideon out of the Old Testament. I put a fleece before God and said, I'm going to move forward on this. I think that's what you want me to do, but if it's not, you need to close the door. And so here I am.
I'm typically known not necessarily to listen very well. And when I hear that little nudge from the Lord, I hear it, I dive into it. When I think I hear what he's saying, man, I start running. And it was a little bit different with that in C12. I had gotten to the point in my career where I was ready to take the next step. I knew the business stuff. I loved the people, but I really loved that aspect of mentoring them. I'd grown stronger in my faith, and I wanted to talk about my faith in the workplace, and had no idea what that meant. At that point, I didn't know what C12 was. I really started thinking about, what's next for me and how the Lord was going to use me to help serve other people. And fast forward a little bit further, I started doing a little bit more research, and I started learning more about C12, and found myself sharing information about C12 to leaders that I know and people that I trust, and immediately got connected with you and started learning about C12, and was completely amazed that in West Michigan it didn't exist. And so that made me even more excited, right? I always love a good challenge. And so the next thing I know, I'm talking to C12 and strategizing about West Michigan and how the Lord can use me there to serve Christian business leaders.
So the way God specifically called me was totally out of left field. I ended up getting invited to be a part of a secular peer advisory group, and was a member of that group for 11 years, and it was excellent. What I learned and how I was equipped through that was incredible. And there's not, in my opinion, there's not an MBA or a formal program out there that, for me, the way I learn and the way I'm wired, could have served me in a better way. And so I have this great passion for just the power of peers around the table. And I thought to myself, hey, it'd be cool if I get to do that someday. I said, man, it'd be cool to do this with Jesus. Like, it'd be great for these worlds to collide. God unexpectedly called me out of my career and out of my business, and brought my wife and I into a season of prayer and fast to discern what he had next for us. And honestly, it felt to us like it was a call into missions work. And so we were starting to prepare ourselves mentally and emotionally to uproot our family and go where he was calling us to go. And God just sweetly and step by step ultimately brought us to the opportunity to launch C12 in Central Iowa.